Hey there, welcome back. This is Kim, and I'm here to tell you all about things related to the ever-evolving world of technology, buying new cars, and the gig economy. Yes, it's kind of a strange combination of things, but it is what it is. Today I have some important information to discuss that's been making news in the auto industry. But before we dive in, I want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoy the video, please give it a thumbs up. So, the FTC wants to help combat auto retail scams like bait and switch tactics that auto dealerships use and giving the public the power to decline hidden fees. Stay tuned, I'm going to tell you all about the new cars rule, that's what it's called, and what you need to know. Okay, so the FTC created the cars rule to stop bait and switch tactics used by car dealers. It stands for the CARS. CARS stands for Combating Auto Retail Scams. This is a big deal. I'm really excited about this. I recently bought a car, and let me tell you, it's a complicated process. There are so many things that you need to think about and need to research and in order to get the best price and not overpay. It can be very costly to buy a car, especially if you're unaware of the hidden fees on vehicles. Let me tell you, there are a lot of hidden fees, and a lot of dealers will not take them off. They just basically refuse to remove them. So you're either going to pay all those fees to get that car, or you have to go to another dealer, which is what I did. I went to another dealer. The FTC is trying to protect the car buying public with this new rule, which will take effect in July of 2024. Which is fantastic. This is very exciting, actually. So what is the CARS rule, and what does it mean for us? Well, it means we're going to have protection in pricing and payments information, protection against add-on products or services that we don't want, and the right to consent for all charges. So you're not going to be forced to pay for things that you don't want any longer. Yay! Okay, here's a little bit more details. So, regarding pricing and payments, now the dealers will have to give you the real offering price. This is the real full price, including everything, except for tax, license, and registration. Tax, license, and registration are a set amount set by the county, state, whatever. So, the dealership themselves has to charge the actual fees for those. But they now have to show you the real price, which includes all the hidden things, all the markups, the add-ons, etc. It all has to be included in the real price now, which it currently is not. They can show you a lower price and then add on all the other things later. Now, the bait and switch happens when they advertise one car with a really low monthly rate, let's say. So now with this CARS rule, if the dealer quotes payments, they must also include the total price of the vehicle. So, if it's a $70,000 car and the payments are advertised at $299 or something, you're going to be paying for 20 years. But before, they didn't have to tell you the real price of the car. And they also need to let you know that if you get one of these low monthly payments on a finance and you're not putting down a bunch of money, obviously the total cost is going to be higher than if you paid the appropriate payment. So this is all about information, all about they cannot trick buyers with these tactics any longer. Now, add-on products or services, you've always had the right to refuse, but now it's a law. I mean, you could always just walk away. You could always just say no, right? But now, with this new rule, you will have the right to refuse any products or services that raise the full price of the vehicle. They will no longer be able to load the car with extras and make you pay for them. I'm going to give you an example. I just bought a car. I bought a little Honda Civic. The local dealer where I live had about $4,000 of add-ons on top of the MSRP. It was not a market adjustment. It was a bunch of stuff that nobody wants, like the paint protection and the security system. It already has a security system. Nitrogen, air in the tires, etc. It was a lot of money for stuff I didn't want, and they refused to remove it. So some of the things that you would probably want to refuse: rust proofing, protection packages, extended warranties, tire and wheel warranties, etc. You may want those things. What this protects you against is them forcing you to get those things. So it also gives protection for services that have no benefit. So they can't no longer charge for products that have no benefit to the buyer of the vehicle. A duplicative warranty, or a service contract for oil changes on an electric vehicle. I don't know if this is actually a thing. The FTC stated this in their article. I think it'd be pretty stupid to fall for this if you were a buyer, but okay. Nitrogen-filled tires. That's so ridiculous. Gap agreement that doesn't cover your vehicle or your neighborhood or another part of your deal. So right now, as it currently is, the dealers add all sorts of things into the deal, and you may or may not notice them. You may or may not even ask about these things, but moving forward, they need to tell you about all these things, and they need to get your consent moving forward, which is great. So you must agree. The dealer cannot charge you for any item unless they indicate exactly what it is, what it costs, and you've agreed to this charge. So let's say you want the nitrogen in the tires for whatever reason, for $800 or whatever it is that they charge. That's fine if you want to get it. You can give consent to buy it, but they cannot force you to buy it. And they have to tell you that they're charging you for it. The dealers still may add paint protection, 3M film, security systems, etc., and try to force the buyers to agree to spend outrageous amounts for these items, but it doesn't mean you have to. I believe the CARS rule is going to protect buyers from this practice, and I hope that it will make it so it has to be clear that these things are included in the price of the vehicle, and itemize those items out, and maybe not. So what happens is a lot of the dealers will put all these things on the car when they get them into inventory. They'll take them off the truck, immediately go put the 3M film on and the paint protection package and the, oh my God, there's so many different things that they add. And a security module, car theft tracking, so many things. So I think they put them all on, and then they try to force the end user to pay for all those items at highly profitable prices. So this is going to allow you to not have to be guilted or bullied into buying those things. So, summary, this should be an easier process for buyers to know exactly what you're paying and not feel bullied. You can more easily compare apples to apples when contacting different dealerships about cars, because you'll know what the full price is for each one. As it currently is, somebody will say, oh yeah, that car's $31,600. Okay, great. But then you get there and there's $4,000 extra this, there's $800 extra for that, $200 extra for that, but they don't tell you that up front until you're there and you get into the finance department. So now they have to tell you up front. This rule will give the buyer more power in the purchase, no longer being bullied by car dealerships, but paying a lot of extra on a vehicle. The FTC estimates that the car buyers will save about $3.4 billion per year. That's a big amount, and I believe it. Just by the cars I was looking at and the amount that was added onto each car, and this is just one person buying one car, $3,000-$4,000 each time. That's a lot of extra money that people are paying that is unnecessary. This rule goes into effect July 30th, 2024. So if you can hold out buying a car till then, I think you'll have a much better experience than if you get one now. This is just about my experience. Like I said, I just recently purchased a vehicle. I did find a dealer who was not pushing the extra add-ons in order for me to purchase the car, but it was not easy. I don't even know how many different dealers I contacted. 12, 15, close to 20. I contacted every Honda dealer pretty much in Southern California, and only one was willing to remove those extra add-ons. Now, I did buy it July of 2023 when people were still pretty much paying MSRP for cars, and there was not a lot of inventory out there, so people just felt like they just had to pay what the price was. And I think the dealers just took advantage of that. They said, well, you don't want this car, somebody else will come and buy it, so I don't have to bargain with you, I don't have to worry about it. But the tide is turning. The majority of dealers I contacted refused to budge on the added 3,000 to 6,000 additional products and services that they add onto the vehicles. Like I said, it was crazy. These items are huge profit for the dealers, so I don't expect them to lay down and accept this new cars rule. It will definitely cut into their earnings, and I'm thinking they're going to find another way to charge extra to the customers. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how the FTC is going to enforce this new rule, and if there's going to be fines or what happens, but I find it hard to believe that they're actually going to follow through and obey this rule. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, don't forget to subscribe. Please comment below and let me know what you think of this cars rule, and if you think the dealers will actually abide by it. What will they do to make up for the lost profits? What do you think? Do you have any expertise in this field? Would you care to share some input? I am really interested to see how this all goes. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you stay healthy, happy, and have a wonderful new year.